Everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to any new subscribers. Thank you for your subscription. I hope you stay for a good long while, and I hope you share my channel with a friend. I am wanting to do something I've never done before, and it's come to my own recognition that I've never done this before. Since I've had this channel, I have been really promoting and pushing, encouraging, motivating, grinding out the message of giving a worthy apology. Now, my last video talked about the inability to give an apology, when you should give an apology, when an apology is warranted, what is holding you back, what is your restraint? What is your restraint about giving an apology by which that apology is due to you? And I've always focused on the fact that people seem to have a difficult time in doing it. I don't know if it's fear. I don't know if it's in the back of their mind, if the person doesn't accept the apology, was the apology and the effort of the apology unworthy of their effort? I don't know what's in their head. I just know that I do know that once you give an apology, it's off of you and on to the other person as to whatever the issue was between you. But what my recognition is, and it came as recent as last week, which is what this video is about. What my recognition is when you should not apologize. When is the time that you should not or will not apologize? And so two reasons that came to me in a very recent issue that happened done last week, in which a person did a thing by which the other person was saying, if you're not going to apologize, I'm going to elevate this into a complaint. And the issue was a very small thing, actually. So everyone that got involved with it, because more people ended up getting involved with it. Everyone who got involved with it agreed that it was a small thing, but we understood why the person was wanting an apology. So here's the thing of this message. Even when you don't feel you need to give an apology, if it is helpful to the recipient, to me, in my opinion, it's worthwhile. It doesn't mean you did something wrong. It's helpful to the recipient. And if we are in a healthy state, healthy meaning, so let me rephrase healthy. I'll retract that word healthy because it means unhealthy otherwise. I'll say if you are in a consciously aware state of how people can become fragile at times as to their needs and their requests. If you are understanding that is what I mean. It means nothing for you to give the apology. So in this situation, and I will share some details without getting too involved with it because it's still kind of ongoing. I would have given the apology. I wouldn't have even had a second thought about giving the apology. But that's my frame of thought. And so here's the thing, because again, I've always pushed for us to give it. Here's the thing. An individual approached someone at work and made a request to them what not to do. Hey, can you not do that? This person said. They went on to share that they have a particular, and this is just, like I said, no names or anything, but they have a particular kind of condition or mental issue that this is bothersome to them. And said, hey, can you not do that? Because I have this and it's bothersome to me. And walked away. So it's that part. It's the walking away part. The other individual felt like, what? 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 What are you asking? What did I do? And so because the first person just kind of said, hey, can you not do that? I have this, let's just say I'm going to make up something because I don't want to get too involved. Um, I have anxiety. I'll say anxiety. I have anxiety, and that just really irks me. So can you not do that? So the person got offended by it because the individual who made the request walked away and, in their view, stormed off. And it went to their supervisors and it went to the other super. So you get it, right? You get it, right? The two different supervisors they have, discuss that because that person said, hey, I didn't like that she approached me at the moment I came to work at the door and told me, would you don't do this because I have, let's say, anxiety, and then just walked off, didn't even give me a chance to respond. So the two managers discussed it. And they went back to this individual and said to her, she said that she wasn't rude to you, so she felt she didn't need to apologize. So, depending on how much you've listened to what I've shared about this, okay? Depending on how much you've listened to what I shared about this person never said she was rude. The word rude never came up. She said, can you talk to her about approaching me? She barely got in the building and she felt like this other person just came at her and then walked off without giving this person an opportunity to say, what is it you're even talking about? Perhaps that is rude, but the counter was, I said it in a nice way. So I don't feel I need to apologize. I said I wasn't rude. This person is talking about body language, about walking away, about how they were approached. This person is not talking about tonation. You see? So they're talking two different things. I kid you not, it went all the way into a thing. And so I had a conversation with this person. And I said, you tell me what happened. And this person said, I simply said to them, can you not do that? I have anxiety. And I said, did you wait to hear what this person had to say or to respond to you? And they said, no, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. I have anxiety. And I asked nicely that they don't do that. So we got into this discussion, and I said, after all of the things that we talked about individually and then together, I said to this person one on one, we cannot insist or even demand, if you want to say that strong word, that you apologize. But I would. But I'm going to leave that option to you. I would. And I would encourage you to. And I said, give it some thought. And I'll leave it. You're both adults, I said. I'll leave it up to you and I'll circle back in a day or two. She decided not to do it. So now it became a thing. You see the picture? It became a thing. The failure to give the apology because one didn't feel they needed to. And in the end, now we're still kind of a little bit talking about this. It's still kind of in the air. It's kind of like flying around. But the reason I thought about the fact that when you don't feel you need to give an apology, and perhaps apology isn't really required or necessary, is because if it will help the situation. See, this apology would have helped the situation. This person was not rude, but this person was out of line. If they had an issue about how that person did whatever they did that kind of impacted their anxiety, they should have taken it to their supervisor. So now we're dealing with proper protocol. And they also should have been at this person here also should have been at least open enough to hear how they came across to someone else, whether they intended to or not. Whether they intended to or not. Now, a lot of times when something like that, by which there isn't really I would call it more of a flagrant foul. Like, I would call it more of a flag on the play. It's not even going to cost a game. It's not even going to cost a timeout. It's not going to cost really, a review of the cameras to see what really happened. It's just, hey, how do we want to look at this gray area? And so this gray area to me, and I'm presenting to you, and I said it to these two individuals individually and then together, is this. My approach for a respectful sense of harmony has nothing to do with if apology or the lack thereof is required, because it's always a choice. Now, I can offer it to you based on your perception of how I came towards you. And that perception I didn't mean. And I can freely offer it to you. And it could be all done and it wouldn't turn into a thing. But because of my refusal, then this small thing begins to expand and expand and expand. And even when it's finally resolved, it remains an issue that got to a point of expansion, when actually it was really not even necessary to get to the point of expansion. This is what I mean about our inability to recognize by which the value of the relationship, partnership, working association, neighbor to neighbor, parent to person, parent to child, child to parent, all of these different dynamics in a relationship. This is why it comes as it comes, because one or the other cannot recognize how they've offended someone else and then would refuse to correct their ways. And it happens all the time. And this is why it's so difficult for people to have a sense of courteous commodity, is what I'd say. Courteous care, courteous commodity, courteous kindness, and just to simply, what I call, be a nice human. Try that out and see how that works for you. And I love you. If you've gotten this far, please click like, please click subscribe. Bring a friend with you next time, and I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye, guys. Bye.